Ooh, okay, it's getting colder. It's COD time. So here's the April 2021 Tackle Club COD box. Okay, COD season is coming to a close. So this time of year, a lot of anglers pack up their warm gear, you know, get in their jumpers and their jackets, get their beanie on, and head to the dams, so the big fish dams to chase big trophy Murray cod. So we're starting to change our lure range that we have here exactly for that. I'm going to start off with the surface presentation and we'll work our way deeper. So starting off with one from our friends at Ballista Lures. This is the Ballista Hunchback. This is a big surface crawling lure. Super easy to fish. Easy, easy, easy. You just cast it out and you wind it back in. It's that easy. But the cool thing about the Ballista lures is the technology that they have inside here. They have this little red LED that'll actually blink on and off over and over again once this lure gets wet. So once it gets wet, it actually completes the circuitry inside from positive to negative, making the LED start to work, which makes this awesome and brilliant for low light fishing, which is when you're going to be throwing your surface lures anyway. You can actually track this lure as it swims because of the LED flashing light, and they say that it also attracts extra bites as well. But I like that feature because of the fact that you can track your lure in the dark is fantastic. This is a great surface lure for early morning, early morning before the sun's even come up, or even late in the afternoon as well, to catch that big trophy cod. Now, once that sun's start to come up, or before it starts to go down, when you're fishing in the brighter parts of the day, you're gonna fish some deeper lures. Let's go with the Damiki Brute. This is one that I quite often use fishing the rivers, you know, casting up along the banks to work it along the bank edge or along rocky edges, because this thing dives nice and shallow. It's a big, thick profile hard body as well, so it does give off a nice silhouette in the water and doesn't dive too deep, so it does allow you to sort of get down along that edge, bumping over some shallower snags as well. And that's exactly how I'm going to fish it, either in the rivers or in the dams. Yeah, not when you're fishing really deep waters. You're just fishing the edge, nice and shallow, a couple feet, maybe 1 to 2 meters maximum, because this thing will only dive a couple meters at max. It's only a shallower lure, but that's where it really shines, because you're fishing this lure in areas where other lures aren't really made for. Once that sun comes up more and you're not fishing those shallow waters, either surface or just subsurface, and you're flicking some of the snags, you got 2 more options here. I'm going to start off with one from Team Raptor. They make some of the best spinnerbaits here in Australia. So here I have a Team Raptor spinnerbait with some of the best quality hardware on here. The blades are tough, the hook is sharp and strong, the plastics are super durable, and they have skirts that don't just break apart when they've been sitting in the sun for half a day, like some of our other spinnerbaits can do. Super tough wireframe as well, which means it's going to be super strong and versatile for swimming over a lot of the snags that we have here. So this one here, I'm going to be casting into some fallen timber, into some rocks, and working this through the thickest of stuff, because this thing just bounces over some of those branches. Yes, you still can get spinnerbait snagged, but honestly, if you're not fishing a spinnerbait in structure, you're not fishing a spinnerbait the way it was designed to do. Cast this into structure, nice big profile. The big tail on the back picks up a lot of water, therefore giving it a lot of movement, and makes it a very good choice for pulling big cod out of tight situations and tight cover. The next thing I'm going to jump over to, and this is a spin right chatterbait. I actually tend to prefer to fish chatterbaits in more open water, but I also get caught out fishing these in tight structure as well. The big blade on the front gives these things crazy amounts of vibration. You can feel it on your rod, even at the slowest of retrieves, just thump, 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 thump. The big blade waddling back and forth, creating a lot of flash and a lot of vibration. Makes this one of the best lures to fish with for big Murray cod. And the weight allows me to fish it fairly deep down as well. So once that sun starts to come up, I can actually use this lure in some of the big drop-offs and riverbeds, or if you're in the river, you can let it sink right down some steep rock faces and fish it deep underneath some overhanging cover. This is where the cooler months of fishing really start to pick up, fishing with big swim baits. So we're going to step the size up a little bit here to the Rapala X Rapido. And it's exactly that. This is built like a torpedo. This thing casts like a torpedo, swims like a torpedo, but with a paddle tail on the back. So it's a hard body front, but with a soft body tail. So you get the weight benefits of a heavier sinking style glide bait essentially, but a big paddle tail on the back to kick up and create a lot of motion with the plastic itself. So it's kind of like a hybrid between a glide bait and a big paddle tail swim bait. So these things are great for covering a lot of water, and also with that faster sink rate, allow you to cover deeper water at the same time. So if you're fishing places like Copton where you got, big volumes of water to cover, or you got those huge rocks and you got to let your lure sink right down, this is going to be the perfect choice for that. I'm not going to use this in amongst the structure because you may struggle to get it back because it's got two big trebles hanging underneath. I may change those trebles out for heavier trebles, especially for our big trophy cod. These will hold up to most of the cod you catch though, but the trophy cod, I'd probably change these out to a slightly heavy hook, but straight out of the box, that's ready to go. And that's it for the COD box this month. If you want to check it out or any of the others in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.